Sure.
Okay. Can I put it on slideshow?
On it.
I might break off a few minutes. I'm waiting for the person that will come and pick me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Muraya Salawo. I'll be taking the Blue Ocean Ships, Chapter 4. The title is Understand Where You Are Now. So, next slide, please. So, the purpose of this step, that is, understand where you are now, is before shifting to blue ocean, all of us are conversant with blue ocean. That is the innovation, trying to get ourselves out of the red ocean, be innovative, being uh, out of the red ocean where there are sharks. You are not competing with anyone. You are like a monopoly on your own. So what we should know is that before shifting to blue ocean, what we need to do, companies must see their current situation. That's what this chapter is all about. You must know yourself clearly, know clearly where you are. What are your innovations? What are you bringing to the table? Where exactly are you in terms of strategy, in terms of innovations, in terms of services, products? Where exactly are you? You need to have that at the back of your mind. You need to really know where you are. This is not a game or something that you'll be questioned. You need to be certain, know exactly where you are in terms of your profit, in terms of your services, in terms of your innovation, in terms of your strategy. You should know exactly where you are before you say you are shifting to the blue oceans. So the goal is that we replace assumptions with facts. Nothing is assumed at all. Everything must be factual. You should know exactly where you are doing. You should be exact to the core. There is no room for any assumptions. You have to be factual. You have to know exactly where you have. You have to know exactly what you are doing. You have to know exactly where your company, your product, or whatever you are producing, or your service, wherever you are. So that means that even if you need to do audits, you need to uh, do like experiments, you need to know exactly where you are in terms of your numbers. How much profit are you making? How much sales are you making? What are the innovations? What are you bringing to the table? All these things, you have to be certain. There's no room for assumptions at all. And then we should also know that the purpose is also to help teams align around reality. This is this reality is telling us where exactly are you. It makes all your teams to align with each other to know exactly where everyone is, rather than maybe opinions. This is not a time for any hearsay, any rumor. This is a time that the team aligned with the reality. You know exactly where you are. You know who are your team. You know who is doing what, and everybody align with each other. So there are some tools that will help us, which is the strategy canvas. We've done that before. So the strategy canvas, that one is like a visual tool that would capture the current market reality. It's like a visual tool that just at a glance you'll be able to know, oh, this is where I am, this is where everything is, and you are sure of whatever you are doing. So every company should have a strategy canvas. Just by looking at the strategy canvas, everything is clearly stated, everything is captured. You know where you are, what are your numbers, What are your flaws? What are you working towards? What are your innovations? So another thing we should know that this also plus factors of competition versus level of offering. That is, you know who are your competitors, and this you level it against level of what you are offering, what's your own innovation, what's peculiar about you, what are you bringing to the table, what's so special about you that is bringing other blue ocean parts in you. And it also shows you where you invest. That's the beauty of a strategic canvas. It shows you where you invest, how you compare, and what customers get. So it's like a visual to everything is being seen in your strategic canvas. Everything you are investing, where you are, what you are doing right now, who you are comparing with, what your customers are getting. Everything is clearly stated on your strategic canvas. And another thing is that it exposes the red ocean traps so that you don't fall into those red ocean. That is, you don't compete on the same factors where your other people are competing, those that are in the red ocean where they are sharks. It exposes those traps. So you don't fall into those traps. You avoid it at all means. Next slide, please. So another thing about understanding where you are engaging your team, you must know how is your team doing. You must build understanding through direct observation and also customer insights. So most of the times when you have a customer, there is always a feedback. You always want to know the feedback. So from their feedback, you can improve, you can innovate, whatever they are asking for, whatever they are requesting for, you can work your way around it so that they remain your customer. And also, it involves cross-functional teams to create shared ownership. When somebody is invested in something, when you know you have a stake in it, people work very hard. When you know this thing, we're in it together, you have a stake in it. Whether there is a percentage or there's something that is coming out of from the company to you, people will work so hard. You'll be so shocked when you know this is mine too. So you give it all your all. So you make your teams have shared ownership, whether it's talk or something that will make them feel that they are in this together. They too, apart from maybe salary or wages they get, there's something that is coming to them. So they know that this company is theirs too. They have a shared ownership. Another thing is that you use visual discussion to make the strategy tangible. When people are seeing something, it makes them easier to relate with. They are looking at all these things visually, so they can relate more with it. And then they can be able to discuss more and have good understanding of what the company and everybody is doing. Also, it avoid intellectual debates. That is like show, don't tell. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like show, don't tell. They are aware of everything. Everybody knows there's nothing to be hidden. Everybody knows what's going on, what's the next strategy, what are we building on, what are we doing. So it makes it is that everybody knows where we're going and they all work toward the same direction. Next slide, please. So the key takeaways for this chapter is that understanding your starting point, where you are coming from, is essential before exploring new opportunities. First of all, understand yourself, where you are right now, what exactly are your opportunities. Before you start exploring the opportunities, you have to know exactly where you have, what is happening, your starting points. And then the strategy canvas also help us to see gaps and misalignment, and then you adjust it fairly. Another thing is that there's engagement and visual thinking, which build trust and collaboration. So you and your team, everybody, you are trusting each other, you build a lot of trust, rapport, and then a lot of collaboration. You listen to your team, they too listen to you. They can share what they think is best. And since there's shared ownership, they know they have a stake in this company. So they will want it to go down. Everybody will work towards the success. And then another key takeaway is that you can't chart a new course if you don't know where you have. This should always ring bell in our mind. There's nothing we cannot chart a new course if you don't know where we are. first of all have to understand ourselves. We first of all have to know where you are before you can make good strategy, before you can build your strategic canvas, before you can build in the blue ocean. So these are the key takeaways. Sorry, I have to go now. I hope we have good understanding of this, and
thank you
thank you
so
everyone
much.
for
Thank you
listening
so
to
much.
me.
No worries at all. Thank you so much, Dr. Morayo. That was quite I would say that was quite instructive, and that was bold on your side, to have taken up this challenge, even though you are on the move. Every day we keep learning one new sort of, I'd say, habit or leadership habit or leadership trait from you, because you never give up. You never say it's not doable. You are always accepting, these challenges. And I couldn't have done it the way you've done it, so clinical, so confidently delivered in that environment where you find yourself. I would be mindful of people behind me and whatever. So you have given us another level to climb. Thank you so much, Dr. Morayo. I don't know if you're still on the call. Okay, you're still there, but thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
still
get
on. I can.
yeah, yes, I can see you're still there. Thank you so much. In our usual tradition, let's give Dr. Morayo flowers. Like I was saying before, some of us joined. Dr. Morayo has been someone who's always committed to this course, and she's, as you all know, she's a medical doctor with the National Hospital in Abuja. So she's got a huge cap that she's wearing. She's someone who's always involved in various medical procedures. Even we've seen her present from the theater before. She just stepped aside in a different room to carry out that presentation. That's quite outstanding, I must say. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's quite outstanding, I must say. She's setting every day new pedestal. So let's just give her flowers in the chat room, chat box. Let's just drop our flowers for that great presentation, and very clear and concise. I would just like to add one or two words to it before I call on our next presenter. Remember, we're still going through the book, The Blue Ocean Shift by W. Chan Smith. Okay, so in other words, part of what the writer was trying to say in this chapter is, basically having or wearing a face of humanness to creative competence. And what does that mean? It means that there's a role in infusing humanness in our creativity, right? We don't just carry out things as if people involved are robots, or they are they're just, like I like to say, they're just numbers. Sometimes as leaders we look at people under us as just numbers. We just want to calculate our gain, and also in the process of doing that we just pack everything into the digital space, where we just see everything as numbers, including our staff members. So basically what this is just telling us that the way we carry out creativity, being creative and all that, we also have to have a human face to it. And one of the things that the writer talked about is breaking down large challenges into smaller and manageable steps. And it helps you reduce the feeling of being overwhelmed by the task, and helps the progress in a way that it is incremental. So that's called atomization. Atomization is the process of breaking down large challenges into smaller, manageable steps. Talks about first-hand discovery, which is encouraging teams to engage with the market personally. This way they gain insight into challenges, previous beliefs. It helps them to fosters a strong understanding of the need for change. We talk about a fair process, establishing trust through engagement, clear explanations, and defined expectations. And that fair process assures individuals that their contributions can, contributions and concerns are valued, fostering commitment. So integrating humanness into our strategy implementation is very key. And that is where it takes us to, what Dr. Mario was saying in our presentation, the 5 steps of the Blue Ocean shift process, which is getting started, understanding where you are, imagining where you could be, finding how you can get there, in terms of redefining your strategy through systematic pathways, employing analytical tools like the strategic canvas, which it highly emphasized on, and to structure market innovation. Those tools are very important, So, and lastly, the 5th step, which is making your move, that is simply conducting a Blue Ocean fair to decide on the most compelling strategic move while validating and redefining or refining it through market testing. So you just, like you said, you have to do a lot of research, you have to carry out a lot of experimentation in order to know, to get to where you are, understanding where you are and then also trying to get to where you are. So I'll just stop there because of our time. Thank you for good time management also, Dr. Morayo. And I would get over to the next speaker who will be taking us through chapter 5, choosing the right place to start. And chapter 6, he's got a double honor today. David's always lucky to have that double honor, constructing the right Blue Ocean team. So he'll be sitting in place of one of us, Coach Nancy, who is not able to be here today. So he will take in chapter 5 and 6. So over to you. I was almost going to call you Dr. David, but maybe I'm seeing the future. So over to you, sir. David, are you there, sir? David, where is David? Is he still on the call? You're muted, that's why I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. My laptop went on and
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay, sir.
it got frozen.
Okay, so over to you.
Yeah, I'm coming. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it says I've started screen sharing, but we have not seen this. Okay, we've just seen the slide now, yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is David. I'll be taking the presentation for the chapter 5 of the Blue Ocean Strategy, which the topic is on strategic starting point, which is navigating the Blue Ocean Strategy. So, this is identifying where to start and the right place to start. That is all what this topic encompasses. And I'll just go over to the next slide. So, the key focus of this chapter is basically about the PMS framework, which the PMS represents pioneers, migrators, and settlers. So the pioneers, that is pioneers, settlers, pioneers, mitigators, and settlers. The PMS map is a crucial strategic tool that is designed to, help and visualize the current portfolio, and it assesses offering based on their value, innovation potential, moving beyond traditional market share metrics. So the pioneers, who are they? They offer breakthrough value innovations that create enthusiastic fan and strong growth potential. So pioneers are majorly the innovators around your team, and selection for selection criteria for starting point of any blue ocean strategies. One, you have to analyze your current positioning. So look for offerings current positioned as settlers or low mitigators. These are often reap from transformation. Leadership buying also applies here, whereby you have to prioritize areas led by enthusiastic, proactive managers who also champion change and innovation. And the third one for also selecting criteria for starting point is also looking at strategic alignment, which is where you ensure that choosing initiative is free from conflicting major projects that could dilute focus and resources. Also, the fourth point here says competitive urgency. Select areas facing significant competitive pressure and with a clear and immediate need for change. So these are like the things that business as a business owner you have to do behind the scene in order to build the right business. And next we see here strategic consideration for Blue Ocean Initiative, and there's a quote from the book where it says, "Earn the right to grow by starting with that offering, demonstrating undeniable success, and then strategically expanding. So focus relentlessly on buyers value over traditional market share metrics when assessing the opportunities." So it's telling us that we should focus on what the buyers truly value, as the end users, consumer, what they truly value, and know what, and not just being the talk of the town, and not just being like the whole rave and everything, or just want to be that brand or that company that just want to have a name out there, but your buyers can't identify what unique value you stand for. So choose areas where you can realistically execute given current organization capabilities and constraints. So again, this topic is also about positioning. So we are being told to focus on where we can actually gain strength to execute without any constraint. And what are the implications that applies to us here in business readers? The major things for us here that we can take out from here is that we should have a portfolio assessment. Says most organizations inadvertently over invest in settlers while significantly under investing in pioneers. So pioneers are the ones, they are more like the movers and shakers. They are the ones that take modern ideas and convert it into something tangible. But the settlers are more like very technical and operational kind of, so they don't really move things. They only know how to do operational day-to-day activities. And it says creating a substantial growth gap ripe for exploitation by agile competitors. And the other says risk management. It says starting with the appropriate scope. It prevents overwhelming your organization, fostering confidence through early tangible wins and successful execution. Key action point here is for us to utilize the PMS map collaboratively with our leadership team, and also challenge existing assumption about where real value innovation opportunities reside within the portfolio of the organization. And once it's identified, we select single high potential area to initiate our Blue Ocean journey, building a foundation for the future. And the note here says the systematic approach ensures resources are not just wasted on overly ambitious transformations, while simultaneously uncovering high potential opportunities hidden in plain sight. So again, it's for us to see how we can strategically position our brand or our organization in high value place, whereby competitors can easily identify you as a strong potential, and also your buyers also can also identify you as a strong potential as well. So in identifying organization sweet spots, we have to there have to be absence of conflict. There has to be operational buying, strategic point potential, high value innovation, which is very key, enthusiastic management. So would ensure that people that are across the team have this eagerness to want to do great, to want to just wake up and think of innovative ideas for the brand, for the organization, and see how they can make it more better each and every day. So this all comes together to form a sweet spot for the Blue Ocean strategy. And we talks about some common pitfalls to avoid in this book, which are one of the things that are stated here is overextension. So overextension means that, explanation here says that attempting too many initiatives simultaneously, often leads to diluted efforts. I think in previous books that we've read, we understand the context of what this means. Cost focus, prioritizing cost cutting over value innovation can stifle creativity and also true market creation. And thirdly is lack of clarity, which is very, 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 very key. When there's lack of clarity, objectives are not met immediately, and everyone seems to move things on their own without any headway. So ambiguous objective or insufficient communication can derail even the most promising projects, right? This is very true. And lastly, paving the path to sustainable growth means that by rigorously applying this pioneer settlement, the PMS strategy, the pioneers, the migrators, and also the settlers, right? By strategically applying these things into organization and selecting the optimal starting point, organization can unlock new markets and ensure sustainable and profitable growth. That will be chapter 5 presentation before I go over to chapter 6. Okay, I'll just present chapter 6 right away also. So following up from positioning brands, positioning organization on the right track. This is now the continuation of this is just like a follow-up to what we've done. So, and this is very, very key, which is, constructing the right Blue Ocean team. This is very, very key because without the right team on the right track, right, there's no way the organization will have there's no way they'll meet their, goals, ambitions, or whatsoever they have in mind at the right time. So the right people, the right team. And yeah, on this chapter 6 is focused more on not just focusing on the fancy numbers of the team you have, but at least the value that each and everyone is bringing to the table. And they highlighted a particular personality of people who we need to also look out for, even though oftentimes we don't necessarily want them in team, but you can't take away their personality, you can't take away their uniqueness that they bring to the team. So, and there's a lot of conversations about diversity, which is very key because we always say there's unity in diversity, and believing that we all here are, people of like-minded and who thinks globally. I think this is also the right chapters for us to also, pay attention to. Next slide here. Slide. Okay. So the core message for this chapter here to us is, team dynamics for Blue Ocean success. And we could see the discussion about diverse perspective, right dynamics, and strategic innovation. These are very, very key when picking up teams, right? We shouldn't be biased. We should be open to bringing together varied expertise, people who have different viewpoints from different backgrounds, right? Right dynamics to also very, very key, collaboration and constructive challenge, and also lastly, strategic innovation. That's unlocking markets, creating insights and solutions. These are the things that comes with bringing the right team on ground. And so we have about 3 key principles, and which the first one says optimal team composition. The first here is to multifunctional diversity. Include representative from HR, IT department, marketing, finance, manufacturing, research and development, and sales. And the optimal size for an organization, either a startup, yeah, most especially, right? The right number to as optimally to that is feasible enough is within the numbers of 10 to 15. Because it's agile enough for speed and large enough for creativity and experience. So, and again, we've highlighted.
Where are you guys?
Oh, there's a noise in the background. And the last point here says cross-level representation, a blend of strategic thinkers and operational implementers for holistic execution. So sometimes it's not always about the big numbers of having 20, 30 people on the team. If you have the right numbers of people that are, would always enforce, it will always enforce that there's always something to move the needle. They're always moving the needle every day, right? I mean, we've highlighted the key numbers of them: HR, IT, marketing, finance, research and development, manufacturing. This could be things that will make the A game, right? The second key principle here to look at here is also strategic team roles, which is valuing the naysayers. I mentioned this earlier at the beginning of my presentation, which is these are the people that you necessarily don't want to always call on your team. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, very
Okay.
audible.
All right. So the naysayers, these are people that always think counterintuitively, they question the why, they question the idea, they criticize, and these people are the kind of people that they don't agree to saying yes every time, right? They are more like they're always playing the bad cop in the team. So it says counterintuitively integrating this skeptic and critics is crucial. They are not obstacles, but they are essential assets for robust innovations. So naysayers are not against the progress, right? We should not have it at the back of our mind that they want to come and bamboozle, or they want to come and just come and say rubbish to what the idea of the organization is. But they are the champions of due diligence. They ensure that process is being followed. They ensure that we have it at the back of our mind that we are also offering value to the customers or the consumers, and service are being done seamlessly, and people can enjoy the organization very well. So embracing the naysayers is also very, very important in building the right team. And one of the things that we can learn from them here is the unsung heroes and how naysayers also strengthen our team, right? One is that they prevent the yes man syndrome. There are some times where everyone just buy into the idea and forgetting some blind spots, right? But the naysayers would always spot those things that we are not looking at, or problems that could be hidden in plain sight, right? They challenge consensus, ensuring ideas and thoroughly scrutinized before adoption. Also, they allow early flaws and detection. So their critical lens forces the team to identify and address potential weakness in the early stage, right? And also strengthen initiative by refining concepts, rigorous questions, projects emerge more resilient and well conceived. And we all need to be like, we all need to have this trait too. It might not be necessary for everybody, but I think we all need to have this trait because sometimes we all could be riding on a wave that could be wrong, but no one is seeing it. But a naysayers, or when you put on the naysayer hat, you could just play the bad cop and you could see something from a POV of probably one of the points that you are going to render your service to. The third key principle is cultivating productive team dynamics. One is it helps to avoid group thinking. Diverse perspective naturally prevents blind spots and unchallenged assumptions, leading to more original solutions. The second is balance optimism and with realism. So positive energy is vital, but it must be managed to avoid overlooking critical flaws or market realities. And the third here says create psychological safety. Team members must feel secure to challenge assumptions, voice concerns, and also experiment without fear of reprisal. So this is a culture that, bringing diverse people breeds, right? It creates diverse and balanced optimism. People are free to talk, people are free to air their opinion, everyone are able to share their beliefs, and everybody are able to share their concerns, right? Regardless of how the project is going on, right? Once this is done, everybody would end up being on the same page at the end of the day. And so why this also matters to us for innovation is that, the traditional team, they always think in one way direction, and they often miss unconventional market opportunities and innovative paths. But if you're on a blue ocean team side, you are required to break in conventional industry assumptions to find and create new value curves. So if you're on the blue ocean team side, you know that you are the one questioning why is it always this pattern. You observe patterns, you question the norm, question the status quo and everything to ensure that you are doing something different, unique, that stands out. And so the direct impact on market creating innovation is that, diverse team breeds market creating innovations, and also it also challenges assumption as well. And the action points that we could take from this is that, one, it helps seek varied mindset. So meaning that active recruit individuals who approach problems from different angles and possess unique knowledge bases. And it also, helps in embrace questioning, value those who naturally question existing norms, and not afraid to change the established ideas. And also it fosters debates, right? Encourage healthy debate and constructive criticism within a safe and respectful environment. So these are the things that, we should prioritize in cognitive diversity. So again, when we have mixture of people from different background, different learnings from different perspective, would be able to sieve them out together, and clear whatsoever assumptions people have in mind, or people are able to also air their opinion, people are able to question, existing idea, or established ideas of why has this thing been so? Can we do something different? Can it be different? So these are the things that helps build a blue ocean team. And in conclusion, building your unstoppable blue ocean team starts by intentionally building teams with multifunctional diversity, integrating strategic naysayers. This is very key because it is one of the things that the chapter, hammer on, and fostering psychological safety. Organization can unlock their potentials for groundbreaking blue ocean initiative. So this psychological safety is very, very key, especially, I mean, in my own industry, is a place whereby everyone, the industry is idea based. So people have different funny ideas. People have, I mean, when it comes to different projects, your idea that makes you stand out. So someone that could be an intern could have a mind-blowing idea, but if he observed the room that, oh, there's no psychological safety here, if he speaks, he might be shut up, he might be shut down, or his idea might be debunked, or somebody just trash him off, right? Those things could actually hammer them down, and we won't get the best, we won't get the real potential of things that we need to get, right? So this is very, very key. And this approach leads to robust innovations and sustained competitive advantage. So the right team isn't just a cost, it's an investment in future market creation. And this is very true. And we can also agree with it that the right team is an investment to the future market creation. On this note, I think I'm done. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, David. Thank you for that very well delivered, or for 2 chapters anyway, so 5 and 6. You would agree with me that David was more in his comfort zone when he was presenting chapter 5, chapter 6 again, as against chapter 5, and that's because I believe he had put in so much work into chapter 6. And 5 was just sort of not an afterthought, I would say was impromptu, based on the fact that it was last minute assigned to David. But he still did very well for chapter 6 rather. It took 5 and 6. So chapter 6 was better delivered than 5 because 5 was his own thing, or 6 was his own thing, and 5 was just last minute. And not saying that you didn't deliver well, but I'm just saying you spoke more on chapter 6 than 5. That was my observation. And, that just tells us that, sometimes we could be called upon, to just stand in for someone or do some kind of last minute, talk, which regardless, we have to perform, we have to deliver, and that's what one of the traits or one of the leadership qualities that we embody even here in the Business Readers Global environment, because people have had last minute calls to carry out assignments, to do things, and you still see them doing it quite well. And it's a way of developing ourselves. So thank you so much. Let's just quickly give David his flowers in the chat box. Whilst I just quickly highlight my key takeaways from these 2 chapters, chapter 5 and 6, before we open the floor for anyone who's got any contributions for all the 3 presentations today from chapter 4, 5, and 6. So for me, chapter 5, choosing the right place to start. When we look at it, I think, basically, he talks about organizations need to determine where to start identifying which business, product, or service offerings to focus on. And the process is known as scoping. So we need to have this behind our minds. Scoping is very important. It's quite straightforward for startups, but it can be complex for existing organizations with multiple offerings. So imagine a company that does different product lines, different services. It's not easy to have this sort of knowing the right place to start, basically. So you need to have that scoping in place. And how can you scope? Basically, the writer has given us a tool which is called the Pioneer Migrator Settler Map, which is PMS in short. And this tool is helping to simplify the scoping process for a larger organization. It says that the author introduced us to this PMS map tool, and it helps us to see through the organization. Basically, it helps us to visualize the position in value innovation, aiding growth, or aiding our growth strategy. So I just wanted to break this down quickly in the next 1 minute, the PMS tool, for us to see how this affects our large organizations. So basically, it is mapping today to see tomorrow. That is the essence of, that's the function of this tool. And it says that organizations rely on market share and industry attractiveness to gauge their portfolio, which is the traditional ways of gauging how organizations are performing and all that. But however, these tools or these metrics are often being indicators of success. The PMS map emphasizing accessing value and innovation to understand future growth potential. The goal is to identify offerings as pioneers, which is value innovations. So pioneers are value innovations. Settlers are Me Too products, or migrators, value improvement. So 3 areas we need to look at, those 3 key areas. The pioneers are seen as value innovations, the settlers as Me Too products, and migrators as value improvement. And quickly, when I decided to check what migrators, no, Me Too products, that's the settlers, what they mean. It says Me Too products are products that are very similar to a competitor's successful product and are introduced to the market after the original has already gained popularity. It says these products often aim to compete by being cheaper, entering a market that already has established demand, or by making minor variations to the original product, as seen in some pharmaceutical Me Too drugs. So good example there. We have 2 pharmacists in the house. So sometimes their products are already established. You just want to do something, you just want to tweak the product a bit. You know, those are like what sort of products that we call settlers. So when we talk about the PMS mapping tool, you know, when you hear the word settlers, Me Too products, that's what it's referring to. Okay, so I'll just jump and go to the other, because of our time, I'll go to the other chapter 6, which talks about constructing the right blue ocean team. So my key takeaway from this is actually in the fact that, you know, for you to have a blue ocean shift, you need to have a blue ocean team. You need to have the right team, you know, of you know, stakeholders that can focus on building that shift that you're looking for, that blue ocean shift. So, which means that the norms have to be, we don't have to, that doesn't have to be the everyday norms and practices. You have to have people who are quite forward-thinking, people who are thinking differently, or thinking out of the box. And in choosing these things, basically, David talked about, you know, having functions, various functions, representatives, people like HR, IT, marketing, finance. And it struck me like, why should you have an HR person, for instance, in a team that's looking to build a product or build a service or something? But that's where, you know, that's where the diversity comes in. That's where you know, sometimes you need the outlier, the person who is not seeing things from your own sort of perspective, to come in to give a different perspective. And so it's very important that we involve everyone, you know, even if it doesn't have to directly do with their own area. You don't say, okay, it has to be the technical guys only that will be involved in this. I know, yes, there are areas where the technical guys could contribute more, you know, and there are areas where, you know, these other guys could just come and give their own ideology to make things work really well. Because at the end of the day, the guy who's at the marketing department will be the guy who will sell the product. So if you are saying you just want to develop that product without, the sales or marketing guy, at the end of the day, you know, you are just going to cause more problems. So it's very important while choosing our teams that we choose, we make sure that people are well represented across board within the organization. And finally, another thing that took me, that took my attention while it was, we talked about appointing a strong team leader. So also we need to ensure that, you know, the person who's there is a good team leader who doesn't bring people down, doesn't talk people down, and ensures that everyone is, you know, well covered in terms of their contributions and everything else. Okay, I think I'll stop there. There's a lot of points I wanted to make, but because of our time, and I want others to also speak. Thank you very much. So I'll open the floor to everyone else. our three presenters or our three presentations, which one do you want to speak about? Thank you. Just for the next 5 minutes or so. I mean, not one person for 5 minutes, but all of us.
Good evening, business readers.
Good evening. It's Afsa. Okay, Afsa, good evening. How are you, ma?
I'm fine, thank you. So I just want to comment on the last presenter, Mr. David, in the chapter 6 he presented. He really emphasized on leadership, role play, taking up responsibilities, and above all, he emphasized more on founders, that's your team players. And look, from our past read, the last book we read, that's 0 to 1, even it is equally one of the principles the author mentioned. That's the people, your founders. He stated, I can remember, he said that you need to have the right team in your organization. This will make you settle. You will be rest assured, not necessarily working together in the same office, coming together, but once you have the right team, all of you can connect with each other regardless. So getting the right team is very, very important. You have to know the kind of person you want to start up your business with, or the nature of the person you are willing to join forces with to start up an innovation or continue a project. Thank you very much to all the presenters. You all did well. So that's my
Thank you so
comment.
much. Thank you, Afsa. Thank you for that contribution. Okay, I think who else wants to say something? I could see Nenlab, I could see Princess, I could see, there have been wonderful comments in the chat box as well. Thank you, Engineer Kenneth, and everyone else that's given, Nenlab, everyone else that's given your thumbs up to the presenters. Any other takers before we close? I would love to hear from maybe Princess or maybe Nenlab.
Good evening, everyone, and sorry for yesterday. I had some glitches, technical issues. Today I had to get out to the hotel to be able to take this call. I already added my comment in the chat box. David, you need to cut soup for some of us now. Come on, back to back to back to back. And likewise, Dr. Morayo, I don't know who does it like you. You just transverse different environment and still keep your cool. You're able to present at the airport, regardless of, the number of people, the population. And that tells to the level of preparedness, and in my last speech, during the graduation, I talked about entrepreneurs, experts, always being ready. Even when I said so, I'm still in my head thinking if I have gotten to that kind of level of readiness, because Dr. Morayo never gives any form of excuse. She's presented in the hospital, presented in Singapore, in China, in Kenya. I think you've done it all.
And we're talking about different time zones here. Middle of the night. It's not just yeah.
Oh, I respect you and I give you your flowers. And I'm really inspired. And I think I have to get all my acts together. She's never, you see the level of coolness, even when she's preparing presentation in the theater. And she still does her slides, right? So it's never a time Dr. Morayo has come to present in the boardroom without a slide presentation. I don't know who does it like you. I beg, both of you will need to cut soup for some of us. David, I need all the AI tools you are using, generative, non-generative, that one no concern me. You must write it down, list it. I need all the tools. I have to up my game one way or the other because I think I'm getting a little bit slow and rusted. Engineer Ken, it's good to see you. Dr. Maro, it's good to see you also in the boardroom. And yeah, of course. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that contribution. Even though when some people are aspiring to be like you are asking to have soap cut for you. Well, let's just let's just leave it there. Okay, thank you so much. I believe yeah, we've covered it all today. Tomorrow is going to be another I think we have 4 presenters tomorrow. Am I correct? Or is it the day after? I think 3 presenters as well tomorrow. So
Yeah, 3
tomorrow we'll be going
presenters
through tomorrow. Okay, so we'll be going through chapters 7, 8, and 9, I believe. And let's be on time so that we can always finish on time. If we start at 1, we hope to end at it's 1 my own time. That's why we start at 6. We hope to end at 7 p.m. Nigerian time. So let's endeavor to be here early so that we can start early. Thank you so much for your time. And I believe we are learning. I believe we are developing ourselves. I believe we are, also contributing our best and looking out for each other. So have a good evening. Say well to the family and see you back tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.